Well, this is the video I dreaded the most. How in the world did I end up in a van? Well, everything was fine and dandy. Had a house, bit of a family, with a girlfriend, and then all of a sudden it came crashing down. Had to split up, had to split out of the house, had to pay her 50%. And then with the housing market as it is, I couldn't really afford anything else, so I looked at a mobile home. I was living in my fifth wheel, which actually was really, really nice. Until, we're going to use fictitious names here. Until, let's call this person Doug. Okay, this Doug guy came to me and said, hey, I've got a mobile home for sale. And it was in my price range. He says, it's a bit of a fixer-upper, and kind of left it at that. It needed a hot water tank right off the bat, actually on moving day. So when I was taking possession of the place, on moving day, the hot water tank completely blew. Luckily enough, I had a neighbor friend that was a plumber and was able to score a hot water tank from him. He installed it, no problem. But, there was a cost involved. I think it was like $800 or something at the time. But I just shelled out a ton of money for this place. And quite frankly, I didn't have the resources to spend more. Well, I moved in. Everything, not bad. I had a roommate. And things were going somewhat okay. But then the roommate stiffed me. Come a couple months down the line and say, well, why would I want to pay you if this place needs fixing up? You have to address this and this and this. Well, it just got to be mind-blowing. So the roommate moved out. Not a problem. Then I started noticing things, especially when it rained. That was my first indicator that I just bought a lemon. Huge. There were leaks. And more leaks. Roof leaks. Wall leaks, window seal leaks all over the place. Well, I patched them up as best I could because I'm really not that kind of a handy person, per se. I asked the previous seller, and we're just calling him Doug for the sake of things. I asked Doug, I said, well, can you give me a hand with this? He, right away just said, no, I don't do that. But there is somebody I can recommend to you. So he recommends another guy to me. Well, this guy kind of cost an arm and a leg, and his workmanship wasn't really the best. Well, I guess you get what you pay for. I had to get stuff fixed, so I let him patch up stuff. And when he wasn't drinking, he was a really decent guy. But he would take a lot of shortcuts. Anyways, let's get back to this whole thing here. Well, a couple years down the line, I still own the place. And I'm having more problems. Now I'm having an infestation of rodents. My next door neighbor really didn't keep his house intact. So he basically let his yard go. And of course that attracts all sorts of parasites and all sorts of crap. They got into my home. They got in underneath, and as fast as I could possibly fix everything, there were more holes, more entry points. And this kind of went on and on. And then more leaks. And then things started falling down. Walls started falling down, so I started boarding stuff up. I just couldn't handle this. It wasn't that difficult to go and buy a sheet of plywood, but I was already paying a whole lot of money out every month. And I just couldn't afford to do this anymore. So a number of years go by. I get absolutely no help from the people that said that they were going to help me in the first place. I didn't really have a choice. I bought myself a van. I looked into Vanlife. A guy I used to work with in nightclubs, he was the DJ, I was the security guy. He had a Vanlife channel, and it all looked absolutely rosy. So I thought, well, after watching a ton of his videos and videos from other people, I thought, well, if he can do it, I definitely can. Should be no problem. Considering that I work in a different city in the lower mainland of BC every single day, generally. So I hop from one end of the lower mainland to the other the next day, and so on and so forth. I'm literally all over. I love my job, and I'm not willing to quit my job, leave my job, just so I can live and work close by. There is no real hub to having a home in the lower mainland to what I do. It's kind of a specialty thing. Anyhow, I bought the van. I converted it. I started to convert it, I should say. I started to convert it, and then COVID hit. Can't get this, can't get that, can't. It just went on and on. It was very frustrating. So I have this empty van. I went to my cousin Ray. I said, "Hey man, can you help me? You got some tools?" And he says, "Oh yeah, no problem." He was and still is the best thing that's happened to me in my life. My God, he was right there. We built out the van, put a bed in, put a countertop in, cut holes. He's still an amazing guy, and I can't thank him enough for everything he's done for me in the last number of years. And he's had some tragedies in his life since. Well, we convert the van out. I still have the mobile home. The bill started piling and piling. I couldn't do this anymore. Then the infestation, I went into a room that I had thought, and it was at the time, was clear of any problems. I walked in there and I was disgusted. I've never had anything like this in my life happen to me. I've read about it. I've somewhat seen about it. I've just always gone, oh, that's gross. They're slobs. Things like that. Well, you don't have to be a slob to have something absolutely disgusting happen in a house. And it can. And if one gets in, thousands get in. I lost so many memorable things. I cried. I really do. And thinking back upon it, I still, tear up. Because the number of things that I lost, it's not anything that I can get back again. Memories of absolutely everything that I had toted around from place to place, house to house throughout the years, I don't have anymore. What I did have and what I could salvage, I was lucky enough to go over to my cousin Ray's place and put them in a sea can, nice, and it's cleaned. It doesn't have any problems, and they're in bins. Whatever's I have is left is in bins, and I ended up walking away from my home. The cost of tearing it down, dealing with biohazardous materials now, was way above what I could possibly pay. So I chatted with the landlord, the property manager, and I said, hey, this just isn't working. I'm not coming back. You can sue me, you can do whatever you want. I don't care, but I'm not returning to there. It's disgusting. And perhaps maybe if he would have kept the property itself somewhat clear of pests, let's call them, then maybe something like this wouldn't happen. I did know somebody else in the part that I was in had the same problem, and they unfortunately passed away. Now, I don't know if they passed away because of the disgust in there or just circumstance, but nevertheless, they're not around. I was not going to be one of these guys. So I left the stuff behind. I left, again, giving the property manager, I thought enough notice and stuff. I paid up and to what I could, and I never returned. Hence, I live in this beautiful van. I love this thing. I would have loved a Sprinter. I'm going to be honest. The Sprinter would have been the bomb. It would have been so rad to have something like that. But $100,000 for a bare bones van, even $70,000 for a bare bones van. You got to be flipping nuts. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, I can afford it now, but still to this day I think, no, what a waste. The vans I could afford that were empty that I could convert, they had super high kilometers on them, like 300,000 kilometers. I have no idea what that is in miles, but it's a hell of a lot. Its lifespan has pretty much come to an end. I would have had to pump a ton of money into the van itself just to ensure that it continues to run. Probably not half as well as my Dodge Grand Caravan. This has been a lifesaver. I started off small. I didn't have a whole lot of things in here. I invested my money wisely into electrical system and batteries. I have lots of power now, more than enough that I can pretty much run anything I want, short of, well, like 2,000 watt, whatever. But if it's 1,500 watt and below, even 2,000, I can run whatever object that is for a couple hours straight. So like an induction cooktop. I'm not a big cooker, but I guess if I had one of those, I could leave it on for a couple hours. I'd still be gold. Nevertheless, that's how I ended up in a van. Since moving into the van, since doing this now coming up to 2 years full time, I did part-time before with the previous place, I've successfully purchased 3 properties. Yeah, something I would have never done if I would have still lived in my house. It would not be possible. And those 3 properties, one's commercial, one's recreation, and one's residential. It's dirt. There's nothing on them. I do have plans for them. They're out of province. I don't plan on moving out of beautiful BC anytime soon, but again, for investment purposes, I think I scored huge. No matter what I sell them for, no matter what I do, it's going to be pure profit. In the meantime, I continue to work my 40 hours a week. Again, I love what I do, so I'm not going to change. I'm just adapting now to possibly, going to my gym, having a shower, doing a laundry in a laundromat. Not really a big deal, I've found. It's a bit of an inconvenience because you don't have everything right here, but I'm willing to sacrifice that for living really, really cheap. Finding a place to park, generally I look for something of beauty. A water feature of sorts, maybe a river, a river. It's just like that old spoof saying or whatever. You're living in a van down by the river. No, actually a river, a lake, a body of water, an ocean, somewhere with a view, countryside that doesn't have city, or even city. They can be beautiful as well. I always find someplace interesting that I want to be in to sleep. And this is my life now. I absolutely love it. I don't think anytime soon I'm going to be returning to any sort of traditional sticks and bricks. Upgrading to a different van, yeah, that's probably in the near future. I've been looking at camper vans, Winnebagos, the new ones, the old ones, weighing out the pros and cons. I think it's time that I upgraded a little bit and maybe sell this to somebody that's just starting out like I did in the first place. It's a learning curve. Anyhow, that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching Sleeping Around Van Life and the video that I so dreaded wanting to share with anybody, because it's very embarrassing. Disgusting, embarrassing. And we'll call that person, again, Doug. Thanks a lot, dude, for selling me a flippin' lemon. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. Absolutely sick man. Nevertheless, fictitious name again. Have yourself a great day. My buddy Sumo is outside there doing something or other. Let's turn around here. Oh, there he is. He's just chilling out. It's a relaxing day for us. I don't get too many relaxing days that we can sit back, enjoy Mother Nature, watch the tube a bit, maybe turn on a movie. I have a little color TV that I just installed in here. It's over there somewhere. The heck is right there. Little tiny thing, but man, crystal clear everything. Don't have to burn my data on internet. Have yourself a great day. Again, thanks for watching. If you liked what you see, even remotely, maybe you could think about subscribing. That would be cool. Even liking the videos, sharing with your buds. Hopefully somebody else that has gone through what I've gone through never has to go through it, but certainly likes van life, because it's changed my life. I've met so many wonderful people along my journey and continue. These people are so humble. They're so great. They've got some really cool rigs, which I'd like to show, maybe with their permission, down the line. It's a fantastic lifestyle. I absolutely thoroughly enjoy it. I can't tell you enough. And there's a couple stickers here. Maybe I'll leave a link below to my merchandise. You might want to pick up a sticker or two, some clothing. I got all sorts of neat crap. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.